Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Botany Educator, and today we will study about life cycle of Albugo called white rust disease. In this picture you can see the white rust on the leaf, right? There's classification belong to kingdom Mycota, division Eumycota, subdivision Mosquitomycota, class Oomycetes, order Personospores, and family Albuminaceae. I've already uploaded the two videos, Phytium and Phytophthora, which is also a disease causing fungus of Oomycetes family. You can see those videos. Then it's a parasitic and disease causing fungus. So it's an obligated parasite, means it will totally dependent on the host for completing its life cycle. It mostly infect the members of family Cruciferi and Convallaceae, Compositae, and Amaranthaceae. Uh, these are some pictures you can see. This is an leaf in which the upper surface, on the upper surface you will find the yellow colored lessons on the upper surface, while on the lower surface you will find some white color pustules in which conidias are formed and in structure, which on maturity ruptured out and a powdery mass is appeared on the lower surface. It also infects the inflorescence, flowers, and fruit, in which cell number and cell size increases in very abundant form. You can say it will increase in a rapid form, and the flashy and distorted conditions will be seen, and it will infect the whole plant. You can see it will affect the leaves, it will affect the stem, it will affect the inflorescence. So it generally affects the seasonal crucifery plants and it's called white rust of crucifer. You have studied of that's caused by Albugo candida, right? So it is a disease causing fungus. Now, if we talk of its vegetative structure, then many hyphae will form, and mycelium is a well branched, aseptate, and sinusitic. Means the hyphae will be in a large number, and these many number hyphae will form in will form in a network like structure. It's called mycelium, and these hyphae are branched, and no walls are seen in these hyphae. A continuous cytoplasm is flowing in these hyphae, and a nucleus are present in these hyphae, and this well nucleated aseptate condition is called sinusitic mycelium. So in these Oomycetes members, you will see this aseptate and sinusitic condition. This is the main characteristic feature you can see of Oomycetes members, right? Then the cell wall is made up of chitin. If you will find the outermost surface, you'll find a cell wall in the fungus, and cell wall is made up of chitin, and below that the plasma membrane is present. These plasma membrane is generally embedded into the host cell, and in the host cell it forms the lomosomes. Lomosomes are the structure which is the outgrowth of the plasma membrane, in which you will see cell surfaces increase, and it will help in intravesicular trafficking, right? And then in the cytoplasm, membrane bound organelles are present, and glycogen is stored as in food material. Then how the food will be absorbed by the host? It will be absorbed by the hostoria. This is the structure of hostoria, in which hyphae is growing into the host cell, and it's imbibing the food material from the host plant, right? So these are the structure you can see in the vegetative form. Then these hyphae will penetrate deep into the tissues and it will start reproducing. And how it will reproduce? It will form conidiophores. It will form a structure called conidiophore. You can see in this diagram, if you see, this is a vegetative hyphae and this will bulge out, and this one conidiophore bulges out and form a conidiophore structures, right? And these, on these conidiophores, conidia will be developed in a basipetal order. Means the youngest will be at the base and oldest will be at the top. On this structure, another structure has been bulging out. So which will be the oldest? Naturally the lowermost. So it will form the chain. The conidia chain will be formed in a basipetal order, right? The basipetal chain will be formed on the conidiophores, and in these conidias, and this structure is formed. Between the conidia, a structure is formed which is called disjunctor, right? This is a mucilaginous disc which is formed between the conidia, right? Now, on the maturity, these cells are forming, these conidia are forming. On maturity, the host epidermis will be ruptured and these conidia will be come out of the epidermis, right? You can see, due to pressure exerted, due to the developing conidia chain, host epidermis is raised and finally ruptured. And conidia are visible on the host surface, and what you will find, the white pustules or the white powdery mass, and this is the main symptoms which we call white rust, right? So due to these conidia you will see this white rust, right? And these are formed in basipetal order. These 2 points you have to start remember. And it's an asexual cycle we are starting. Then what will be the next? It has to complete its life cycle. These pustules are being ruptured. The conidia will disperse from the pustules and it will divide and form a multinucleate zoosporangium, right? And this zoosporangium again divide and form many of its segments, and these segments metamorphosize and form zoospores. These zoospores will germinate and form germ tube and will enter into the stomata, and this life cycle is completed in the host. So it's totally dependent on the plants to complete this life cycle. So it will again have to, for completing its life cycle, it will form, what it will form? Zoospores. It can infect another plant or it can infect the same plant to complete its life cycle. It have to again form in a vegetative hyphae. So it have to complete its life cycle. So it will form zoospores, right? This is the asexual cycle. Then what it will form? It can form gametes also through sexual cycle. So sexual reproduction, it is of oogames type. Means the male antheridium will form an male gamete which can be a motile in nature, while the female gamete will be non-motile and will remain in the position whichever it is, right? This oogonium, large number of nuclei form which are peripheral polyplasm, and the central ooplasm is present in the center. It's called egg nucleus, right? And in antheridium, large number of antheridial, you will find a large number of nuclei forming, only one remain functional. In this diagram you can see the vegetative hyphae in which female and male branches form, and male branch, it will convert it into a young antheridium in which thousands of nuclei are formed, in which only one remain functional. The second branch is female branch, will convert into young oogonium in which thousands of nuclei peripheral ooplasms form, and the center will form an egg. This central nuclei will function as an egg and it will remain functional. Then through an fertilization tube, from antheridium male nuclei, and some protoplasm will be transferred into the oogonium and will fuse and form a structure called oospore. These oospore is covered with an wall which is composed of exine and intine. Now this oospore will germinate again. uh, it will form in zoosporangium, and zoosporangium will undergo meiosis, right? And through meiosis it form an haploid structure which is called zoospores, and these zoospores will again enter into the life cycle and form the hyphae in the host cell. So the zoospores will be the structure which will again form the germ tube and again infect the host plant. Now, if we see the life cycle, through asexual reproduction, it was forming the zoospores, right? It is forming the conidia. It was forming the conidia, and then this conidia was forming some structures called zoospores. So basically, these zoospores are the haploid structure in which the conidia form, and then it will germinate and form. It will complete this asexual life cycle. In sexual cycle, it will form gametes. In antheridium, the male gamete will be formed. In oogonium, female gamete, egg is formed. These two will fertilize and form oospore. This oospore is covered with exine and intine, and this oospore will convert it into a structure, or you can say this oospore is germinate and form a vesicle which is called zoosporangium, and this vesicle meiosis occur and thousands of haploid zoospores are formed, right? And through this zoospore formation, it will again enter into the life cycle through germination. So basically, zoospores are basic haploid structure, which is another main feature of Oomycetes families, in which flagellated zoospores are formed for completing its life cycle. And this life cycle is haplontic, in which only the oospore is a diploid structure, and rest are haploid structures. So this is an haplontic life cycle. Main disease control measures are use of resistant varieties, use of biological controls, trichodoma viridis, and fungus. But it can be used as a biological control for reducing this white rust. And then rotation of crop using chemical controls, ridomil and metaxiles are the main compositions we can use for the systemic infection. When the systemic infection means the whole the plant is infected by the fungus. Mancozeb, Bordeaux mixture, Manabe, Zinab, these are the main fungicide which can be used for controlling the white rust. What are the MCQs which can be asked for competitive exams? Main organism which is causing the white rust of crucifer is Albugo candida. You have to write the whole name Albugo candida, which causes the white rust of crucifer. Then the food reserve in Albugo usually is glycogen. Then fungus, Albugo is a member of Phycomycetes. This aseptate and cenocytic mycelium is found in Phycomycetes members. Uh, if you see the classification, you will find in that in the earlier classification, the fungi has been classified into Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes. In Phycomycetes, all the fungus in which the mycelium is aseptate and cenocytic type are considered to be Phycomycetes members, right? So Albugo is a member of Phycomycetes. Then Albugo candida produce conidia in basipetal order, right? So these type of questions you can find. Then symptoms and causal organisms. This also can be asked by you. Then this is an question which can also be asked, that white rust is a seed borne or a soil borne disease. So it's both a seed borne and a soil borne disease. So the option will be true. So I hope you will like the video. If you have liked the video, please share it, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe it. Thank you for watching.